Welcome everyone at the Integrations the Monday Way presentation. My name is Witold Tkaczyk and I'm a software engineer with over 8 years of experience in web development. In Monday, I have a pleasure to work in the integrations team. We are a Frisch team that have very specific role in Monday ecosystem. You see, we are not mostly working on the existing codebase, Monday codebase, but rather extending it through the tools that Monday has to offer. So one may say we are working more like external developers than internal ones. In this presentation, I would like to quickly talk you through what is integration, what tools we are using, and how does the process of developing application looks like. After this presentation, I hope you will know overall what is integration and how to ensure its quality. We're gonna start at our mission, what are the challenges we are facing, and what we would like to achieve. We're gonna talk through the tools we use, environment, and on the whole deployment process with quality assurance and continuous delivery. So let's start. Okay, and as you can see in the diagrams, the integration is a backend service that connects Monday platform with third-party service. And starting from the left, we can see that Monday have a GraphQL that exposes Monday data to public integration services. I will talk you through more about Monday GraphQL when we will be talking about Monday tools. And the next square is Monday Automation's public API. It's a REST API that is used to call integrations backend services, notifying basically about the events that happened and also receiving the notifications. And Monday is very extendable and everyone can create their own integration for their own use cases, or even for everyone when published to the marketplace. This is what Łukasz was talking about. And yes, I will repeat, you can earn money here, so listen carefully. And there is even a person that created a single integration that is still one of the best sellers in Monday. And all I can see is that he don't need to earn from other sources anymore. Okay, and as an integration team, we have a proud mission to elevate Monday platform with critical for our enterprise customers integrations. But power comes with great responsibility. In Monday, there's already many integrations that were built on demand for specific use cases or during many hackathons. We want to elevate it. We want to create the core integrations in the way that it will be easy maintainable and testable. Ideally, the new developer that comes to our company after working for some time with one integration should be able to work with other integrations also. Without having troubles through going through the documentation, how to set that, how to set that, and so on. The only part that should be different in the integration service should be the part that is connecting directly to the third party. So how can we do it better? Is there a generic way of creating very different integrations in a consistent way? And obviously, every integration with third-party service will be different, so we cannot unify that. But what about the other part? Can we create some kind of process that will allow us to automate creation of of new integrations in an easy way? Ideally, it would be like if we can have a single-click deployment that allows us to work basically directly on the third-party service instead of doing all of the boilerplate required with creating new services. So that's the goal, yeah? And so let's see what Monday has to offer. First is Monday Graph. Monday Graph is a single solution for gathering all data you need from Monday. And why Graph? Basically, Monday is very extendable, very flexible, and gives users 1,000 possibilities to customize. And with that, we needed something more flexible than REST API, something that will be able to handle multiple requests, different requests. And yeah, we are aware that switching from REST API to GraphQL comes with increased complexity of creating solutions. So to mitigate that, and the company has to offer the playground. Basically, it's an embedded GraphQL client in the Dev Center, where you can play with GraphQL, see for what query, what data you will receive. And it also comes with the AI chat that helps you generate query for your specific use case. And also it have a Monday Graph SDK, is an NPM package that you can use to start using it seamlessly. So many of the integrations with platform like Monday is about syncing data between services. So from the history of the integrations in Monday, we can see that most of our integrations does have Monday GraphQL. So we will also need that. So let's add this to our template. Let's make it as seamless as possible by adding the authorization for it and using the SDK that Monday provides. What else do we have? And there's the developer center. It was slightly touched by Łukasz in his presentation. And in Monday, everyone can create integrations using Dev Center. I won't go too deep on that, as I would probably spend a week or so explaining everything that is there. But for the sake of the presentation, all you need to know that Developer Center is a visual admin panel for managing and creating apps. For example, in Developer Center, we can define that whenever some events happen, call this specific endpoint with this specific data. And let's take a look at how to create one of them. For the sake of the example, let's imagine that we want to create an action that will be calling Slack, sending Slack message to owner of the ticket whenever the status of the ticket is changed. So first we can go to the Developer Center and create the feature with a block called notify Slack. Block of type action means that Monday will be calling your service. And then we can define credentials. Credentials is another feature. It's created on the level of the app, so it can be used multiple times for all of your features. It's an optional step, and basically it's like an OAuth. So we can create it, and all of the requests that is going through this feature will contain Slack credentials property with the valid token. It handles all of the regeneration, all of the regeneration of the token. So it's always valid. Okay, and then we have input fields, and input fields basically are the fields that user will configure when configuring your integration, and it will be sent from Monday to your service that you can use it. And the output fields are the fields that you're gonna return basically from your integration, and it will be available for the user to use it for different purpose. And of course, execution URL, and this is the URL that you can configure, like you need to configure in order to Monday to call this particular endpoint for the data that you specified in input fields. And finally, as a Monday user, I can go to the workflow builder and configure the trigger called when status changed to something. In this particular example, it's stack, get item data from step 1 and notify user to the item owner. And that's it. We have an integration from the Dev Center. So what else do we have? We have Monday Apps. Monday Apps was also used in Łukasz's presentation to deploy the application, the source code. But here we will focus on different commands like creating integrations from template, manage versions, deployment, etc. It's a great alternative to Dev Center for automated processes. It contains something called manifest. It's a great tool that gives us possibility to automate creation updates of the apps from a single file called manifest, and all from command line. So as I mentioned before, we want to have a single click deployment. We want to create the new integrations from single click and be able to deploy it all the way to the production automatically. So this is great tool for us, and we will definitely use it instead of the Dev Center. So let's not use Dev Center in our process at all. Let's switch to manifest and take a look at what it actually is. So manifest is like a connecting tissue between integrations backend and Monday platform. it's like a gate to Monday. It allows us to apply application as a code rule, where the whole configuration of the app is in the manifest file in the repository. That allows us to apply the code reviews for every app changes, do the automated tests, and also, of course, versioning. Okay, so now we can replace the manual form fillings and manual actions and keep everything in a single clear JSON. You can see at the example, on the left, we have Dev Center, where there is multiple steps, multiple forms to be filled. And also there is here for every feature, because you need to do all of those steps for every feature from the form. And it also comes with the problems, like conflicts. Imagine multiple developers working in the single form for updating app. And on the right, you can see the manifest. It's very small at this stage, but it contains all of the required app information as well as the list of the features that can be deployed directly from this file using one single command. Okay, and before I go to the continuous delivery, let's talk a little bit about the environments. We are working only on production environment. So if you want to act like external developers, we cannot just test everything in the dev environment. Monday contains all of the functionality requires to test and release the application all the way to the production for external developers. So why can't we internally use it? You can see on the right that we have multiple accounts. Every accounts have different purpose. For local host, for development, basically, we are using account that is per developer. Then I can go there, play with it, have fun, develop new features without worrying that I will break something for someone else. And then we have the integrations, which is basically our staging account, where we publish only only with automated actions, publish the integrations, and it's used for automated tests. And then we have a Monday code, which is actual production, everything that goes there. It should be ready to be shown for the actual Monday users. And on the left, you can see how it was done previously. So developer usually would start with working with localhost, so running all of the Monday, the whole platform locally, and then developing the new feature from there. And then he would use the staging. Staging is common for every developer in Monday, so it's not not the most stable one. Everyone is testing there. And then you get the production, which is Monday code, the same as on the diagram on the right. Okay, so it's all possible because we have multiple manifests. I mentioned that we want to have a manifest as a single source of truth. And on the right, you can see that we have 3 environments, so we cannot just use one manifest. So let's add to our template also the generator that will generate manifest from a single template that will be now the single source of truth. And we'll be able to automatically deploy to specific environments, specific manifests. Those manifests will differ mainly because of the execution URL. The whole common part will be the same, but the execution URL will be different. So that means basically that whenever the action is triggered from mine account, Witold Dev, it will call my instance locally instead of production. Okay, and pros and cons. Obviously, the consequence of using the only production is that we don't have access to the latest. On the other hand, we get the stable environment. Also, it's worth to mention that doing that with this approach, we can ensure that the whole features that are available for the external developers are working properly, and if not, it's easier to fix it from inside. Okay, and let's take a look how we automated this. Our customers are enterprise for whom even small error can mean huge financial losses. So we want to test everything properly before going to the production. And from experience, we can see that sometimes the most valuable, the most inconsistent maybe step of the process is it's all of the manual actions. The users are the weakest point of the process. So we want to get rid of it totally. We don't want to any manual actions during our deployment process. So first, from the left, after pull request is created, the first check have place where we do all of the unit and integration tests, as well as the manifest tests and the code review. Next step is merge and another round of testing. If everything goes green, we proceed with staging, with production to staging, sorry. And you can see by staging, by deployment, I mean, it's basically two, you can divide it by two steps. One is the code deployment when we are deploying the latest build, the latest instance to the instance. And the other part is manifest deployment. So deployment of the latest manifest generated for this specific environment. It's probably somewhere there on the wall. Yeah, and it's very important step for us because it's ensured that there is no issues during manifest deployment. And after the manifest and the code is deployed to staging, the end-to-end tests are running. At this stage, the manifest version is also stored in our S3 to maintain the history of all of the manifests that were generated. And if there is no production, if there is no problems, no issues reported, the production deployment takes place. It's all automatic. And on production, we don't have, at least yet, the automated tests, but we have extensive monitoring and logging, alerting. So if anything goes wrong there, we are notified, woke, and we are fixing it immediately. So that's basically it. The last thing that I didn't cover yet is how we structure our integration app. So on the right, the top right, you can see the file structure that we have. Tests is self-explanatory. All of the common tests code are there. And then we have actions. Actions, a folder contains all of the action blocks. And all of the action blocks is in the separate subdirectory, as you can see on the example, notify users. It's good for separation. It's all of the code necessary and related to notify users is in this single place. And next we have application. Application contains all of the code required to run application and to start it and so on. We have a commons. Commons contains all of the common tools like Monday GraphQL or a third-party client that all of the actions will call. And at the end, we have a manifest that contains all of the code, the template, the generator, everything that is related to generating manifest for specific environment. So in the summary, we know how to create the backend for our integrations in a consistent way that gives us maximum possibilities. We have manifest as our connecting tissue and single source of truth between Monday. We created a template that allows us to rapidly create new integrations that contains all of the required tools like authorization, Monday GraphQL, as well as a fully automated process that allows us to deploy changes all the way to production, fully automatic, with full confidence that the feature is working. And now we can go to the questions. So what do managers think about you testing in production? They love it, obviously. No, so it's not entirely testing on production. We are testing on Monday production, but our integrations itself are obviously on the dev environment. So it's not that we are testing everything directly on the production. We are using Monday production. And obviously it's very good as it's, like I said, it ensures that everything that is available for external developers is working properly. So this is actually the wanted flow. We want users to develop applications end-to-end using Monday. Okay, and next question for input output fields are schemas, JSON schema, or XSDs supported, or do they need to be configured in the UI? So yeah, we have for input outputs, you can define your own custom field, custom input field. You can define the schema there. For example, if you want to have some custom objects, you can define it, and then user that want to use your integration will need to fill up those schema. We have pre-configured fields that you can also use. Like in the example, there was people column value. So it means that you can select any column you want that contains peoples, and it will scrap the data from this and send it to your integration. Any other questions? No, then thank you. Oh, I see two more. Yeah, let's go. To be honest, I don't know what is MuleSoft. Okay, I'll read it aloud. Have you considered using any market available integration tools such as MuleSoft, etc.? So maybe we can take it offline.
MuleSoft is the biggest, maybe the most popular something called iPaaS, integration platform as a service. And I was thinking that maybe you consider to use it instead of writing the whole integration node that you've been showing on the first slide. As in using as a existing solution for that or Boomi, because there's plenty of solutions like that can do the integration between some of the existing tools very easily. Yeah, it has some of course pros and cons, yeah, for sure. But a lot of integration like the tools with Slack and so on are already there. Yeah?
I didn't, but someone from the management definitely did. And they decided to create an integration team that will specifically be created for creating our own internal integrations to be used for external users. So, yeah, but a great question, thank you. And how do you manage on-call alerts? So we have our own system called Developers on Duty, which means we do have how to say it, we do have a particular time when we need to be available 24 hours per day. And during that time, we cannot drink alcohol, of course, and so on. But we need to be on call, basically. We need to be ready. That's if anything happens, we need to be ready to fix it. Or maybe...
Can I
yeah.
About if it's like a huge monolith and some engineer deployed a new feature, and does it mean that like every engineer in your company, in your team, will be able to debug and to fix it? So, or you do have small teams which are responsible for different aspects or of action services.
Yeah, okay, I get it. So basically, we have a groups, and group have particular domain of the company that it supports. So we are in the automations group, and whenever there is some problem with automations, we are called. And of course, not every developer knows everything about the automations, but we have ownership defined. So whenever something happens with this particular code, for example, that you don't have a knowledge, you have a person dedicated that you can contact and wake, basically using this, using our service to help you. So yeah, also there is like a manager that is responsible, like people hire like a principal of the group that is available also for help.
30 engineers were directly working on stability. So every engineer will be on call sometime, right?
Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, so thank you again.
So thank you, Witold, for the talk. Again, you can rate the talk on your mobile phones, and let me show the last slide because we planning to have 3 more meetups this year. The next one on 14th April, then one more June or July and October. But I would like to let you know about the Monday Hackathon we are planning to do sometime in April or May. So you can use the QR code to sign up for the newsletter to be informed about it. And during the hackathon, you will basically be able to build some apps for Monday and possibly monetize them in the future. So I invite you to sign up. And that's basically it for today. So thank you. Enjoy the beers and snacks. And let's chat outside of the the formal part. So thank you.